ladies and gentlemen, and now we're moving on to our next panel discussion on tourism sustainable gastronomy. So without further ado, allow me to pass on the stage to our moderator, Mr. Paul Pruangkarn, Chief of Staff from PATA or the Pacific Asia Travel Association ขอเสียงปรบมือให้กับคุณพอลเปลืองการด้วยค่ะ
Hello, check 1 2. Swadikap. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our session today on. We're actually talking about the pillars of sustainable tourism. I think that might have been our old subject that we had proposed. But yes, so first let me introduce myself. My name is Paul Pruangkarn. I'm the Chief of Staff at the Pacific Asia Travel Association, also known as PATA. So a bit about PATA. We are a nonprofit membership association that acts as a catalyst for responsible development for travel tourism to, from, and within the Asia-Pacific region. So our members are the full spectrum of the entire travel and tourism industry, so from governments, from the federal, state, city level, all the way down to hotels, airlines, airports, tour operators, travel agents, consultants, the entire spectrum. So our approach is looking at global issues with local relevance, and that's especially relevant here when we talk about sustainability. So today I'm going to talk about the case for sustainable tourism, and what does that mean? And so why is sustainable tourism important? Now before the pandemic, we were seeing sort of uncontrolled travel across the world. There were issues that were happening with local communities, and of course with the environment. You've seen the issue of over-tourism happening across the globe, especially in Europe. We had to even close beaches here in Asia, in the Philippines and Thailand. So that was something that we sort of created ourselves in terms of traveling across the region. But then, of course, at the same time, COVID hit, and the entire travel and tourism industry stopped. And with that, the loss of money for many people in local communities and the people in the industry, and of course, their livelihoods, and also money to fund conservation efforts within the region. So, as we start to look at recovery and look to rethink tourism, we need to find the balance now between environmental protection and a profitable, sustainable tourism industry. And why is that important? Because now more than ever, travelers are being more socially conscious about their decisions when they choose their travel planning moving forward. As you can see from the chart here, Expedia did report that 90% of consumers are looking for more sustainable options when traveling. We recently just had an event, started a webinar just a few weeks ago, and this sentiment was also echoed by many of our speakers from TripAdvisor, Euromonitor, and Visa, from the surveys that they did that showed that travelers now, more than ever, are looking for sustainable products, sustainable hotels, sustainable tours, sustainable activities when they're making their travel decisions. And you're going to see that too. If you looked at Google Travel, right? If you look at the flight options there that are available, they're actually showing you now sort of the carbon emissions of each of those choices that you could have. And you're seeing this across the entire spectrum of the travel and tourism industry. So, what are the 3 pillars of sustainable tourism? Now let's backtrack a bit. When we talk about sustainability just in general, usually the concept is people, planet, profit. It's not much different when we're talking about sustainable tourism. Yes, environment is still extremely important, right? We need to look how to protect the environment. In the past, we've always talked about going to a destination and not leaving a footprint. But now you're seeing a new thought come up, this idea of regenerative tourism. And the idea of regenerative tourism is going to a destination and leaving it better than you found it. And so a lot of operators, a lot of stakeholders are thinking about, how do I make the experience more regenerative for my guests? Local communities. Local communities are extremely important to a sustainable and responsible development of tourism. With that, we're encouraging that local communities are involved in decision-making products of what's happening in their environments. Because of that, they can then provide a better place to live, a better, cleaner place for the visitors, a better experience for the visitors. And the last aspect, when we talk about profit, we're looking at destination resilience. Now, what is that connection between profit and destination resilience? Well, when COVID hit, of course, everything stopped. Nobody was getting any money. We were losing money, livelihoods were affected. When we look at resilience, resilience ensures the long-term sustainability, financial sustainability of operators, hotels, of the destination, and the local livelihoods of the people, right? And so this is something that we've really understood, that we need to focus on resilience moving forward, right? There's all the progress that we've made in sustainable development can be wiped away on any future pandemic. Now, we've always said, oh, we want to prepare ourselves for the future pandemic, but there actually is a current pandemic that we need to face. Now, it's not COVID-19, it's not the geopolitical issues that are happening in, say, Ukraine and Russia. It's already here. It's climate change. So we are actually already seeing it this week in itself. You're seeing the major storms that are happening out in Europe, in the Americas, down in Florida. You're seeing the storms here this week, the flooding that's happening in Thailand. So resilience needs to start today, that we need to take the steps to make sure our industry, our destinations are resilient. And it falls under these three pillars of people, planet, and profit. Now, if we look at this idea of sustainability, especially tourism sustainability, environment, local communities, and destination resilience, right? If you're thinking about it as a house, sustainability being the roof, and these three are the pillars, what is the foundation that this house relies on? Well, it's people. It's human capital development, which is an extremely important issue for our industry. So why is it so important, and what are the challenges of human capital development? Well, we'll say this about the destination. When you think about destination, really, what makes a destination, what makes your travel memorable? What makes it unique? What makes it special? It's not really the destination, right? Because a beach is a beach, a mountain is a mountain, a forest is a forest. I'll ask anyone, one of these photos up here, one of the beach photos is from Thailand. Can any of you guess which beach photo that is? As I said, so what really makes your travel experience memorable? What makes it unique? It's the people, right? It's the people that work in the industry. It's the people that rent your bikes. It's this great service that you get at the hotel or on the tour or when you go visit local communities. It's these people that, through them, they're the ones that are passing their culture and heritage to you through their food, through their crafts, through the stories they tell, through their arts. That's what makes a destination unique. And that's also another priority for a lot of travelers these days. As I said, a lot of people are now focusing on sustainability when they're making travel decisions. But from recent surveys, again, from some of our partners like Euromonitor and Visa, TripAdvisor, culture and heritage travel is extremely important when they're looking at what experiences do they want to look at when they book their travels going forward. So, these are the different things that we're talking about in terms of sustainable tourism and human capital development, and why it's extremely important for our industry to address these issues. So, what is PATA doing to address these issues? Oh, sorry, before I go back, human capital development, this is a challenge of human capital development. So even before the pandemic in 2019, we were having major challenges with labor shortages, right? Human capital development at that point was one of the greatest challenges for our industry. I mean, this is my quote from that particular article. If you don't know what Skift is a fairly influential B2B trade magazine out of New York. So there, I'm saying it, in 2019, one of our greatest challenges of our industry. And even today, now with the pandemic, it's even worse. Why? Because many of you have heard it. You've heard about the Great Resignation. You've heard about the labor shortages. You've heard about hotel shortages. You've seen the viral photos out in London, Heathrow Airport, of luggage being piled up. You've talked to any of our members or anybody in the industry, they'll tell you that there is a lack of manpower currently in our industry that we need to address. But we need to rethink as an industry, how do we address that problem? What is it that we need to address to retain and recruit staff into our industry? And it's very simple, most of it. At the end of the day, people just want to be treated fairly, paid fairly. But maybe we weren't doing something right. And so we need to rethink the models that we have currently to address the issues of the Great Resignation, or another term that you might hear is quiet quitting. So this is a challenge that our industry faces these days, And so you might ask, what is PATA doing to address these issues? So we'll go to the first part. We'll look at how are we responding to sustainability and social responsibility, and what are our projects and initiatives. So when we look at environments, this is one of the projects that we are currently working on. It's funded by the EU Switch Asia project. It's our TourLink project for tour operators in Thailand. This is some of it was built off our buffet toolkit, which addressed food waste that we did several years ago. That has led into us doing a food and plastic waste reduction standards for hotels that's accessible for anybody. It's actually on our website, if you see right there, at pata.org/future of tourism. It's also a plastic-free toolkit for your industry to learn how you can help reduce plastic and also food waste. But besides that, we're also going out there and doing in-person capacity building workshops. My team just recently came back from a workshop in Chiang Mai just last week. I think they just flew back last night. A week earlier, they were in Phuket, working with stakeholders in destination, in local languages, in helping them how to reduce food waste and plastic as well. So these are some of the things that we're doing on the ground to address environmental issues that we're seeing around the region. We also have been working with UNESCO and Expedia to develop a plastics online module, which you can take very easily on our websites. It addresses some of the management process for plastic waste reductions, strategies to avoid waste altogether, and also local knowledge and products that can help your tourism business move away from single-use plastics. Now, if you look at local communities, one of the things that we've been doing that we're actually extremely proud of that we just did last year, at the end of last year, is our Supporting Informal Workers project. Now, when we talk about the effects of the travel and tourism industry, we've always talked about the hotels and the airlines, but there's actually a huge population of the travel industry that was often overlooked. It was the informal workers, which they weren't getting addressed. So what we did, one of my colleagues did, they went out to the local communities out in Bangkok, the tuk-tuk drivers, the masseuse, the tour operators, the craft sellers. They want to understand what their issues were and how to address them. Some of them are very simple. Some of them was just teaching them how to use translation apps, how to use Google Maps, how to list your business on TripAdvisor or on Google, how to even use something as simple as an ATK test at home, right? So this is something that we're extremely proud of, and we're looking to actually expand that into other parts of Thailand and the region, and we're currently working with a multinational to actually see how we can expand this to help informal workers in other parts of the region and support the local communities there. Now, and the last thing we're talking about resilience, and one of our pillars is building resilience, and something that we've actually been working on for a couple of years now. Actually been working on this for many years. This started maybe 8 years ago when we started our Hotel Resilience Initiative with UNSDR and SIGIZ, and now we've built this to having destination resilience. So we launched earlier this year, we launched our 10 modules for destination resilience. It comes in 6 local languages, so Khmer, Bahasa Malaysia, Malaysian, Thai, Chinese, and I believe there's one more Khmer as well. I think I might have said that. Very easy to use. It's 10 online modules. Anybody can do it. Once you do it, you do get a certificate, so you can go ahead and take that today. But besides the online modules, we also have done some in-person capacity building of workshops in Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, and Philippines as well, to help train the trainers. So we were training them so that they can train other stakeholders on how to build a resilient destination. So these are some of the things that we are addressing in terms of how to look at sustainability and how we can help our industry become more sustainable and responsible moving forward. Now we're moving to our human capital development initiatives. As you can see, some of our sustainability initiatives have overlapped with the human capital development, especially working with young professionals within the industry. But a lot of our human capital initiatives are looking at the youth, and we have a dedicated PATA youth program. So we do have student chapters here in attendance, so thank you very much for joining us. But our youth program is very simple. We are helping our youth gain knowledge, build their network, providing them opportunities to speak at our events, and helping them build their profile, right? So we have occasional webinars. So I think we're trying to do them on a more consistent basis. We have mentorship sessions, networking sessions. We just had one earlier this week. I think we had several mentors. I was one of them, mentors from across the industry. We provide speaking opportunities for our youth. And of course, through all this, it helps build their portfolio to help them build their careers and sort of be stronger and more knowledgeable as they enter the workforce. And I said we have our student chapters here, but we have student chapters across the globe, from Canada to Europe, South Asia, Australia, North Asia, of course Southeast Asia, and of course right here in our own very backyard in Thailand. Very easy to become a youth. We are giving a promotion for World Tourism Day, which just was on Tuesday, but it's easy to become a youth. You can just sign up with at us at our booth. I said we had a big World Tourism Day event. It's our youth symposium. We had one networking session, 2 webinars, and of course a mentorship session as well. Over 500 delegates, so youth from all over the region had joined us with 12 mentors, 8 expert speakers, our EDU members. So yes, if you're a youth, please do join us, be part of our youth program. It's something that we are really focused on because we understand the challenges that we need to address in our industry. So, as I finish this presentation, I just wanted to leave you with this. We believe at PATA, travel is a force for good. It has always been an engine for job creation, economic growth, and most importantly, cultural understanding and empathy across borders. And that's why we are so passionate about our sustainability and social responsibility issues, and we're very proud of our youth program. So, we do hope that you guys can join us in that mission, and if you have any questions about that, you can always email me at my email address is here. It's at paul@pata.org, or you can go to our website, or we do have a booth just right by the cylinder. Feel free to talk to any of our staff there. Now I know this is just sort of a broad overview of the issues in our industry, so that's why next we do have a panel with some of our members here in Thailand to go and highlight some of the initiatives that they're also doing to address these issues that I've just talked about, and sort of dive a little bit deeper into the subject. So with that, to moderate today's session, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage PATA's Head of Sustainability and Social Responsibility, Mr. Pavnesh Kumar. Big round of applause. Thank you.
So in 3 months' time, it would be 3 years since the COVID-19 outbreak. And in these 3 years, we have been through a lot. As individuals, as organizations, destinations, as industry. Human psychology is not to have a response when crises occur, but rather have a reaction. And that reaction is more or less not that sustainable. Yeah. So today, here, we have gathered industry experts and education experts to join us for the discussion of using tourism as a force for good, tourism as a positive driver for sustainability and human capital development. Now, you cannot talk about sustainable future unless you have the engagement of the youth. And we at PATA absolutely believe that the students of today are the leaders of tomorrow, and keeping that in mind, we have invited students from Bangkok University to join us today in this discussion. They will be following up closely what the panelists and experts have to say about tourism, about sustainability and human capital development. And we have warned them the questions could be pretty tough. I hope they are prepared, because then we will be taking questions from the students. So with that note, now I would like to invite all the panelists to the stage, please. So while the panelists are taking the stage, I would like to also take one moment of time to thank you, Paul, Pata, all our youth members, and our panelists here to agreeing to join us for this discussion. And I hope this is going to be very insightful and exciting. So now, starting from the right-hand side, I will invite all the panelists to give a brief introduction about themselves.
Sorry, I got my right wrong. So hello, my name's John Timson. I'm the Vice President of Sustainability and Safety for Accor hotels across Southeast Asia, Japan and Korea. Massive. So it's a very big title, but basically what I'm honoured to be here today and really thankful for the opportunity to actually speak on behalf of what hotels can do in the space of sustainability, and obviously to talk to the next generation that is so important for what we're doing here.
All right, so my name is Arunwadi Leewananthawet, the Sustainability Manager from Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau. So my part is, our part TCEB is driving the MICE industry. So just to give you a brief explanation of the MICE industry is actually, we driving the meeting and convention, exhibition and event industry in Thailand towards the sustainable event destinations.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Assistant Professor Dr. Dontida Anantapilat. You can call me Amy. I'm the Dean of the Bangkok University International, and it's very precious to be here today. And I also bring my lovely students from Bangkok University International. They are from major international tourism and hospitality management. I hope that they will learn and enjoy the session. Thank you very much.
สวัสดีค่ะ Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Praweena Kasai, Vice Rector from Dusit Thani College. I'm taking care of the student affairs. So Dusit Thani College is one of the unit of Dusit International. We are one of the what's I call culinary school and then the hotel school in Bangkok. Thank you, ka.
So thank you so much for the brief introductions. We will take questions from the audience later on, please. Sorry for that. So, John, I would like to ask you a question, which is, you are in the hospitality sector and hotels and all. So, can you tell us about some initiatives hotels can take to, deliver something to this change, to be a positive contributor towards sustainable tourism?
Sure. So I think for hotels, the opportunity for us is to really look at our place within the community. And for us, the sustainability starts very much in our own neighbourhoods. And if we start to think about the position we play in that, you can then start to expand out from not only the staff that we have that work for us, but also the suppliers that are joining us. You've then got the education of guests around what the expectations are. And as you move further and further away from that hotel, you actually start to engage a lot of different stakeholders into it, from the tour operators that we engage to work with, to taxi companies, to the services that we provide, to the local businesses that we recommend. And as you broaden out, we then move to airlines, we then move to shipping, transportation, where we get all of the products for our hotels. But when we go back into our own self, there's really a couple of things that I think are really important for us to look at. And it's about what we're doing in the hotel to create a more sustainable future. Part of that is the work we do with our teams, the work that we do that we know actually then goes out further into the community, and the lessons people learn within the hotel are actually taken back home to their families, to their communities, to their relatives, and that's really where we start to see the benefit of hotels really leading in this space. So we see it, we are a pivotal part in sustainability working better within the region, and it has to stop being competitive. So Dusit is a fantastic hotel company as well. So from that point of view, there's no point us competing against each other when we're all trying to save the planet. So I suppose from being one of the largest hotel companies right through to very small independent operators, if we join together as a collective, we can see some real change across the industry.
Thank you for sharing those wonderful thoughts with us. And I really like the idea. We are in this together. There is no competition. We are fighting for the same thing. So on that note, my next question is to our next panelist, Arunwadi. So we are talking about destinations, we are talking about tourism, but let's start at home, Thailand. So what do you think about the Thai industry or Thailand as a destination, how sustainable it is, what are the challenges that we have?
Speaking for the travel and my industry as well, so because TCEB working to drive the my industry. So for us, I think as a sustainable destination, we have been seeing the destination as a sustainability as a competitive edge for years. But right now, I think our big challenge is how to work together, not to see the other city or other destinations or other stakeholder as a competitor. TCEB actually working with the Global Destination Sustainability Index, which is the global index, who rank the index for all over all the country or the city across the globe to rank and index which city is the sustainable city. But in order to do that, we're not focusing on the ranking itself, but TCEB learn the weak point and the strengths, what we can do more, and what are the rooms of improvement. So in the Global Destination Sustainability Index, we have the mindset that we not try to compete with ours within the index, but we learn from each other. So the index itself is not the race, but it's a platform that as all sustainable destination across the globe, we gather. We just met last month in Goyang, so one of the sustainable destination in Asia, and we met and we talked and we discussed and we agree to meet more regularly, to share more. What TCEB has done, we have shared all the carbon footprint calculator that we just come up with the platform, and then we share with them, and they share the research which are in Japan, Sapporo share with us. So I think our biggest challenge is how we overcome and start to talk between buildings. People always think that sustainability is about environmental, but actually the community and the social aspect is also important, and I think it's the main engine that drive all other pillars in the sustainability to be more sustainable. So talking between buildings is mean like we need to work collaboratively. We have to try to get away from the thinking and the mindset that sustainability is for marketing sake, but we need to work and see sustainability as for the local well-being sake. People in the destinations, if you want to create your own destination, your home, as a sustainable destination, you need to think your home as the owner mindset. You don't need to think your home as a supplier. You want to market your home and bring the customer, but instead of thinking of that, you think that this is your home, how you are going to welcome all the guests, the tourists and the MICE traveler to come to your home, because when they leave, what they will leave behind is not all the garbage. You want them to leave with impressions. So I think this mindset can help changing all the suppliers in the travel and my industry to switch from being a supplier, to switch from as a destination, you just think to want to sell your destination, but you have to own your destinations.
Thank you so much, Arunwadi. That was a wonderful insight. And I haven't really thought of it like that before, because usually when we talk about benchmarking, everyone wants to be at the top. Like no one
Not
wants to
for
be
the
second.
sustainability people.
But no, I think it's not a competition.
Yeah.
You are working towards continuous self-improvement. You would like to learn from your peers,
Exactly.
see what the best practices they are following, and you would like to grow together. It's more of a collaboration and not a competition. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you for that. So now we move to you, Dr. Duangtida. Apologies if I didn't pronounce it correctly.
Yes.
So when we move towards sustainable development, the biggest challenge from a student's perspective or someone pursuing higher education is that, what if I'm going to get some education at university and I cannot apply it in the industry, or the other way around? So would you like to have a few words on that?
Yes, I mean, it's like for the educational sector, I think it's like there is some of the opportunities to work together with the industry partner. I mean, like now in the many hotel and many like tourism industries, I think like they try to implement some of the business strategies that less impact on the environment, but however, they don't have some linkage with the educational sectors. Maybe they have some of the linkage, but not like, not push too hard for the link that I think we need to have more in terms of the communications and the collaborations between industry, like in the hotel or even in the TCEB, to work together to, with the university. As before at the university, we have been asked from some of the company to let us to come to the university and ask for the student to launching the project related to sustainability. And for example, like sustainability in fashion. So it's like many students enjoy and understand more in the concept of the sustainability. So I think this is the most important thing, that link between the industry and the educational sector to make them know the importance of the sustainability concept. And at the same time, I think it's like we need to have more in terms of the support from the government and from the stakeholders for the business in order to make our students to have more awareness in the concept of the sustainability and let them to understand, and then we're going to have in terms of like more long-term sustainability in the future. Yeah.
But I cannot agree more on that one. I mean, most of the times when we talk about sustainability, it's in different domains, it's in different sectors, be it construction or other industries. But what you just mentioned, it is about 360-degree approach. Students need to understand that sustainability is everywhere there is potential. So thank you for that note. Now, moving on to you, Pam, we would like to know from the industry, from your perspective, what is the most important skill that you can suggest that the students learn? So not only they are job ready, but they are also ready for the transformation that we are seeing today, a transformation to sustainable tourism.
Well, it seems I got the most challenging question then, because talking about the skill, like our student here, what they learn from the freshmen, it might be outdated when they graduate. So talking about the skill is, keep changing all the time. Especially right now, we have like in the digital transformation whatsoever. So of course that skill that need for in the industry is keep changing all the time. And the employment work scheme is also changing. So I read the message from World Economic Forum. They predict that in 2025, more than 50% of the world working population will need to be reskilling. So actually, when I read, it's not surprised, because we keep changing all the time at the moment. So this is the message that keep inform us and remind us that we need to improve. But however, when we check about the World Economic Forum top 10 skill, they classified into 4 categories. The first one is problem solving, which still needed. Second one is the self-manage. This is very important. Next is work with people, work with team. This soft skill is always needed. And the last one is technology use, which actually it is the era of the transformation. So for the economic sector, what the economic sector we have to do is we of course develop our student competency, first of all based on their field like culinary or the hotel that I mentioned for Dusit Thani College. But more than that, we base on the 21st century skill as well. For example, life and career skill, innovative skill, and technology use as well. So giving you example for the life and career, which is very important for the student, what we do is we start from their curriculum. So we not only teaching the theory because it's not possible at all to be survive if they learn only the theory. So we let them experience, have life experience by teaching like work integrated learning, and let them have the supervised field training at the hotel for 1,500 hours, something like that. So let them familiar and create the working experience by the time that they're still studying with us. At the same time, for our part as the student affairs, we have the unit of the competition. So we allow the student to unleash their potential by support our student to join the competition for national level and then international level. The level that we can go up reach is up to like the Olympic of the cookery one. The name is Bocuse d'Or. So our students, they have a chance to challenge themselves with other professional chefs. So that is the most proud for our college that we can unleash the potential of our students.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, fam. That was wonderful. So all the students listening out there, you have challenging times ahead. So upskill, stay relevant, stay updated, and like mentioned by the panelists here, it's really important that you explore beyond relatively to your core subject. So if you talk about finance, start exploring what is sustainable finance. If you are into fashion, start exploring what is sustainable fashion. If you are into web development, think about what is sustainable web development, and the list goes on, because you need to stay relevant and stay updated, because the future is in your hands. We have passed the parcel to you a long time ago. All right, so now we would like to ask our students if they are ready with some questions that they can ask the panelists here. Or you can just pass over the questions to me in one single go. Yeah.
Good afternoon. So my name is Ratana from Bangkok University International, and I have questions in terms of the role of university in driving the future leader of sustainable tourism.
Hello. I think that question should come to me and from the Dusit Thani School as well. I think this is a very good questions, because when we asking about the law, I think it's a big role of our university to ask us to let the student to understand and create them to have about the awareness of the sustainability concepts. Because I think I asking many students, maybe they are freshmen or the first year, they not really know about the concept of the sustainability. Okay, so I think from the beginning we should let them to have awareness about the concept of the sustainability, how it's very important, because they're going to be, there is other generations that we're going to go and then work in the industry in the future. So they need to understand the most important concept. And then after that, they need to know how to implement it as well. At the Bangkok University, we have the student chapter, and then at the student chapter, the student form the group, and then they do they just launching the project. This is like a protect marine conservation concept. This one is like we cooperate with industry partner, and then we also may be asking the collaboration from other university and also the community as well, that the student learn about like how to protect marine life, which is very important. So I think like this is the first step that the student, this is our big role as an instructor, as a university, that we're going to help them to learn about the sustainability and know how to implement it, which is going to be benefit for them in the future.
Thank you, thank you. So the student who asked this question, we would like to know from you, did you find the answer satisfactory? Okay, all right. So now we will move to the next question. Yeah, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Neil Wei. I'm from Bangkok University International, and I would like to ask about human capital development programs and initiatives from hotels that can prove to be a game changer. So what do you think about that? Thank you.
That goes to you, John.
I hope so. Otherwise, Dusit, no? Okay. Game changers in development. I think probably some of the areas that we have looked at over the last probably 10 years is really about going back to what are the stumbling blocks that we're going to have in the future. Women in leadership is definitely one of those places that we have dedicated a great deal of effort to. We understand that hospitality in particular is one of those industries that is young, it's dynamic, it's got an immense future for it. But to move through the generations and to get women in leadership that are at a senior level, we fundamentally need to do things differently. We also need to work in understanding what it is that stops that transition through to a higher role. So I think what's a game changer? Probably finding the right people to start with. If you find people that are passionate, if you find people that are open, if you find people that are curious, and if you take away all of the things that stop them from succeeding, that's where the game changer comes in. But personally, I think it has to be a partnership. So we've done a lot of work in a number of different communities around supporting locals to change their lives, working with disadvantaged so that they can actually step into a career. We work with organisations to really support those people that may not have an opportunity elsewhere. So I think part of what we need to do as an industry and as a large organisation is really use our size, the ability for us to help people, and really to go out and figure out what we need to do that's the right thing to do. It's not about money, it's not about profit, it's not about competition, but it's really about understanding where our industry is going in the future, which is women in leadership, which is really providing an entry point to work that means some people that can't go to university should still be afforded the same opportunities to join an industry that's passionate about people, that's passionate about people's growth, and give them an opportunity to travel the world and make the dreams come true.
Perfect. Was it satisfactory? Okay, great. So 2 more questions to go. I don't know who they are going to target it to. So let's find out. The third one, please.
Sawadee ka. I'm Kira from Bangkok University, and I would like to know, what industry can help promote Thailand as the sustainable event destination?
Thank you. So to make Thailand the industry to promote the industry. Okay, so I think what TCEB has done is we usually we have a usual promotion activity, like we having a booth over there in the exhibition trade or in the trade show like IMEX. But I think for now we have been working in the sustainability for more than a decade. We are come to realize that right now building awareness is one part that we need to do. But from now on, we believe that we need to walk the talk. I think everyone listen to our talk. Ourselves as a government agency, we need to walk the talk and talk our walk. What we have to do is, when we are telling people what we need to do, we also need to show them the actions, right? Once we have done something, like this year we try to make the industry to be able to calculate the carbon footprint that can be reduced and avoid. And we want to be able to measure it. So TCEB ourselves, we start doing that. So we set the measurement that we would like. As a government agency, we have the meeting as well. So we set the target to reduce 100,000 kilo carbon equivalents. So we hit the target with our collaborative in TCEB. So next year we set the target higher, so we would like to double it. But in order to double this measurement, we set the target to 200,000, but not only for TCEB, just so you know, we want to invite our mines operator, our key stakeholder in mines operator, to come and help us to reduce the carbon footprint emission as well. So we need to walk our talk right now, and we are doing it right now. And we also need to talk our walk. Otherwise, people will not know. And if we stop talking about it, people say that we should stop talking about sustainability and start doing it. That's true, I believe that. But if we don't talk about it right now, our stage is we talk our walk.
Yeah.
So we want to invite everyone who listens today to join our path as well.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you. I think the key takeaway is walk the talk and talk the walk.
Yes.
Spread the awareness. So we are running out of time, so we will just take our last question. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Gail. I would like to ask you, do you have any lessons which you learned from the COVID situation that might help push the sustainable development in the education sector?
That's a really tough one. I think you're getting all the tough ones today, Pam.
Okay. So I think that every industry, every sector, we all got pain from COVID pandemic. But then at the same time, I consider that everyone, we got the constructive consequence from the COVID as well. So for example, in the economic sector, like our college and even Bangkok University, I believe that finally we can have the platform for the student in order to learn online, and even the blended learning style. So that is the most successful that we got from COVID situation. Finally, we got the platform. So we used learndusit.com as the platform for our bachelor degree and MBA student. More than that, it's time to change for our office as well. So finally, we can modify the style of work to be hybrid. So our instructor not only working on site, but they can choose to work at home sometimes. So they can choose to do their research or other work at home, don't have to come to the office. So this one is quite like changing the style of work that we have at the moment. So after COVID, I think this is the big digital transformation, which is the consequence to the sustained development as well.
Thank you so much, Pam. So I think this brings us to the end of this panel discussion. I would also like to thank you one more time for being a wonderful audience, and a huge round of applause to the students from Bangkok University, because they put up really tough questions. So to summarize, I would just like to say a few words and not lengthy paragraphs that was left to the panelists. So you have to learn, you have to unlearn, you have to relearn, you have to evolve, you have to transform, you have to stay relevant. And on top of that, you have to be open-minded. So you have to look at things in a 360-degree perspective, because everything is connected and there is a potential impact of every single action we do. So on that note, let's talk the walk and walk the talk. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you guys so much, and thank you, Pavnesh, and thank you to all our panelists for a fantastic discussion. If you want to learn more about PADA, feel free to visit our booth. It's just around the cylinder in the middle, or you can always visit our website, www.pada.org. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and take care.